Hey guys, welcome back to the video, and welcome back to another video on Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Now, last time we went after the Dalton brothers. Let's get into it. Or apparently this is also after the Dalton brothers. This is just after them on their riverboat, not when they robbed the bank.
We'll get those suckers!
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
I'm gonna level up our shooter.
We'll track them to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color. Red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
There it is. Black Bart. I love Black Bart. See, he was a pacifist, and he actually was a stagecoach robber in between, I think, Nevada and California. He did not ride horses. He actually walked from San Francisco to Nevada to the same place to rob stagecoaches. He was even shot in the head by a shotgun, and the bullet only grazed him, and started bleeding while he was at a restaurant. So he started panicking. A cop walked up to him and told him they forgot his coat. Anyway, Charles Earl Bowles, better known as Black Bart, was undoubtedly among the Wild West's most unusual stagecoach robbers. British by birth, Black Bart was a polite man, known for his manners and refined taste. It is difficult to believe that such a gentleman bandit really operated in California and Oregon in the 1870s and 80s. Legend has it that on at least two occasions, he left handwritten poems at the scene of the crime. This one is from 1877. I've labored long and hard for bread, for honor, and for riches. But on my corn do too long tread, you fine-haired sons of... Black Bart never lacked personal charm. After getting out of jail, he was asked by journalists about returning to his criminal ways. He answered with a smile, "No, gentlemen, I'm through with crime." Then another reporter wanted to know if he would write any more poems. Black Bart laughed and said, "Now, didn't you hear me say I'm done with crime?" He never fired a gun during any of his robberies, and all of them were done with him getting to the crime scene on foot due to his deeply held fear of horses. I think we have to go this way.
Bury them in the swamp! Right where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
Right, and hear the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Point being, I was under serious attack. And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Somebody kill that son of a bitch!
God,
you damn bounty hunter!
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was.
Yeah, follow the,
Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians? There were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
What are you gonna do?
good pictures. Look at these. Close to nothing. Close to not all black.
Get around it! Don't I?
Down in there.
Yeah!
boys were out there somewhere,
Boom.
standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Is there a negative truth in here? Nope, just waste time.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Catch him in the crowd.
Truth nugget.
I'm ending you.
Old West steamboats. While the founding fathers of the United States were writing the Declaration of Independence in 1776, over in France the first successful steamboat was completed. In the United States, the first steam-powered boat was built by John Fitch in 1787. By the first half of the 19th century, American rivers were teeming with steamships. It was a blessing for the economy. River transport was much faster and cheaper than any kind of land transportation. Numerous ports and shipyards appeared. The ships themselves needed maintenance, and dock workers and all of that meant new jobs. Of course, early steamboats were far from perfect. Many sunk for any number of reasons. Boiler explosions and fires were common causes of the accidents. Between 1811 and 1899, 567 steamboats were lost in the United States. Despite that, people were eager to use this new means of transportation. There were even the enormous palace steamers built to ferry passengers and cargo across the northern American Great Lakes in the mid-19th century. The Titanic was the largest steamship in the world when it sank, and remains history's most famous and sadly unlucky steam-powered ship. In the second half of the 20th century, steamers were almost completely replaced by diesel-powered ships.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Juarez. The Gatling gun. Built by Richard Gatlin in 1861 and first deployed in combat during the American Civil War, the multi-barreled Gatling gun was one of the precursors to the modern machine gun. But unlike modern machine guns, it was not really... It was not fired automatically, but rather operated by a gunner who had to crank it. During each turn of the hand crank, each barrel fired a single shot, after which he ejected the spent cartridge, lit a new round, and in the process, cooled down. This allowed for a high rate of fire without the barrel overheating. The Gatling gun offered an unheard of high fire. The Gatling gun offered an unheard of high fire rate and was relatively easy to reload. In the right hands, they were a devastating weapon. Gatling guns were finally replaced by the self-powered Maxim machine guns that use recoil energy to eject spent cartridges and insert fresh ones. In its prime, however, the Gatling gun was a fearsome weapon. We'll take steady aim right there.
Come on! Kill him!
Down that ladder. Go up here.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all. Bob and Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together.
There, we at least got the inlaid 6-shooter now.
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
We'll go for the first one. Probably gonna be one more after dodge. The rear one draws first.
They got it wrong.
It's honorable.
A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Well, guys, that's where we're gonna end this one. I hope y'all enjoyed. I certainly did. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and, well, have a good one. Adios.